How are you doing today? Well, I predicted on Twitter today that we would get some Google Stadia news, and I was right. Okay, I was only half right. The news didn't come from Google themselves, which I was actually predicting, but we do have some Stadia news to go over. So if you are interested in the latest in Google's newest gaming platform, don't forget to click subscribe to stay up to date on the latest in Google Stadia. Okay, so what happened today that we're going to talk about? I'll be upfront and say this will be a short video, and this is just kind of here to give you this update if you were unaware. We will go more into depth on Friday with Party Time Live, set for about Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's start with Square Enix. Square Enix is one of the early adopters from the third-party side that is very much all in with the future of cloud gaming, and Stadia specifically. Many games on Stadia come from Square Enix, like the Tomb Raider series and Final Fantasy 15, just to name a couple. One of the titles that we had a release date for and we briefly talked about on Party Time Live last weekend was Marvel's Avengers. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge comic book guy. In any video I show up on camera, you can see some comics displayed and some Funko Pops that are of comic book characters. Now, if you really know me, you know I think the Avengers game needs some work. Now, I know they aren't going to pay for the licensing of Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson to make these characters look good, but the character models and a lot surrounding this game just didn't have that it factor most commonly found with Marvel's projects over the last 10 years. When we talked about this on the podcast, I mentioned that, well, as of right now, Stadia does show a release date of May for Avengers, along with the rest of the other platforms, but today, that changed. Square Enix announced it was delaying the Final Fantasy VII Remake, another title I was really looking forward to, and Marvel's Avengers. Now, as I've said in the past, I will take a delay for a video game if that means we're going to get that much better of a game. While I don't see the character models being redesigned in this little time, we will find out for sure when Avengers releases on all previously announced platforms on September 4th. Now, on to the more exciting news of the day, Doom. I predicted Doom 2016 would be the next game announced with the release date on Stadia, and while I'm technically wrong, I'm also technically right. Now, March 20th has long been the date we were expecting Doom Eternal to come out, and however, it was always up in the air about whether or not Doom Eternal would find its way to Stadia on that exact same day. Well, Bethesda and the team involved with Doom Eternal dropped a new trailer, and at the very end we got to see all the consoles this game was coming to on March 20th, and that included Google Stadia. The other day, I mentioned why Monster Energy Supercross 3's release was a good thing for Stadia. It is set to come out on the same day as other platforms. If Stadia wants to succeed, they cannot have games coming out months after their release like Borderlands 3 did. Yes, technically Borderlands came out before Stadia even did, but not having that game ready for Stadia's launch date did not help. Having Doom Eternal, arguably one of the most anticipated multi-platform titles of the first quarter, ready to go on Stadia on day one is huge. This lets Google even get the leg up on Nintendo since the Switch port is still being delayed, and Stadia can attack that mobile market assuming Android and iOS support is ready by then. I will say that it is highly unlikely that Doom 64 will be available for Stadia even though the logo remains on screen at the end. I'll try and reach out to someone and find out for sure, but don't anticipate on Doom 64 making its way over to Google Stadia. But what do you guys think of Avengers getting delayed? Or was this a game that wasn't even on your radar? And how excited are you for Doom Eternal to get launched at the same time as the other platforms? This is a great step in the right direction for Google to be taken seriously, and I'm glad that Bethesda and the team over there working on Doom Eternal worked really hard to make this happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Again, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, it'll really help us out. And of course, stay tuned on Friday about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll go over all the news that Google Stadia has for the week and Party Time Live. It'll be our second episode, and I had a lot of fun doing the first one, and I hope to see more of you there, and we can continue to talk about the great platform that is known as Google Stadia. But until next time, thank you, and party on.